안녕하세요. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Smile Korean for Beginners class. I'm your Korean teacher, Emma. During the next 40 videos, I'm going to teach you guys using this book, Smile Korean for Beginners, each of which lasts no longer than 20 minutes. Going through the classes, you'll learn how to read and write using the Korean alphabet Hangul, and also how to create practical sentences using basic vocabulary and grammar. Although I said basic grammar, and even though this class is for beginners, what's the purpose of learning a new language? To understand and express yourself in the target language. Throughout these classes, you're going to come up with hundreds of sentences you can actually use in your daily lives, which means after them, you'll find yourself being able to survive in Korea and having real conversations with people in Korean. If you're interested in getting certified, you'll even be well on your way to preparing for the TOPIK 1. Whatever your goal in joining me here today, I appreciate your interest in and efforts to learn Korean. I promise I'll be your biggest cheerleader on your journey of learning Korean. Now, let's get started. From now on, I'm going to call the Korean alphabet Hangul. So first of all, why was Hangul created? It was created under the direction of King Sejong of the Joseon Dynasty. Before the creation of Hangul, Koreans actually used Chinese characters to read and write. But it was really hard for the common people to learn them, so many of them became illiterate and faced lots of difficulties in their daily lives. Knowing that, King Sejong designed Hangul so that even people with little education could read and write. That being the case, you can guess how easy it is to learn Hangul, can't you? Currently, there are a total of 19 consonants and 21 vowels in Hangul. What are the principles behind their use? First, let's talk about the vowels. They are the combination of these three shapes which symbolize the basic elements of the universe, the sky, earth, and humans. So for example, if you place a dot shape at the left of a column shape, it becomes A. And if you place it at the right of the column, it becomes A. Then what about consonants? The basic consonants, 기역, 니은, 미음, 시옷, 이응, take the shape of sound-producing organs in the body. When you make g sound, the back of the tongue lifts and touches the soft palate at the back of the mouth, causing the tongue to look like this, which is the Korean consonant that produces the sound g. Now when you make the n sound, the tip of your tongue touches the tooth bridge, causing the tongue to look like this, and this is the consonant that corresponds to the sound n. Next, when you pronounce m, the lips have to be pressed together. Observing this action resulted in the creation of this particular consonant, which looks like a square and has the sound m. The s sound is made when the air passes between the front of the tongue and the tooth bridge. And when you look at the teeth from the side, you'll find that it actually looks like this. So this is how the Korean consonant with the s sound came about. Next, when you make the ng sound, the air passes out from the throat through the nose. Now, if you were to look at the throat from above, it would look like this, which is the shape of the Korean letter corresponding to the sound ng. Using those 5 basic Korean consonants based on the articulatory shapes of the vocal organs as a foundation, when one or more strokes were added to them, new Korean consonants were created. For example, as a single stroke was added to 니은, it became 디귿, which has the d sound. And as 2 strokes were added to 미음, it became 비읍, which has the b sound. Some strokes were added to represent the strength of sounds. For example, when you pronounce d with a stronger force, it sounds like t. So by adding one horizontal stroke, the character 티귿 was created to represent the sound t. Likewise, in a similar fashion, 피읍, 치읓, 키읔 were created. Now let's dig deeper into vowels. Hangul vowels can be further divided into monophthong and diphthong. Vowels that don't require a change in lip shape or tongue position are called monophthong, while vowels that do are called diphthong. As for we, we, technically the principle is to pronounce them as monophthongs, as is still done by some older adults, but the majority of Koreans today pronounce them as diphthongs. So in order to make it easier for you to understand and to make their usage practical for you, I'm going to approach these two vowels as diphthongs. Today, we're specifically going to learn these 8 monophthongs. Let's practice pronouncing them. First, please open your mouth wide and pronounce ah, ah. Next, open your mouth a little less wide than that to pronounce ah, ah. Now the shape of your lips should be horizontally flat like this, and you need to fold your tongue a little bit to pronounce uh. Maintain the same flat shape of your lips for this next one, but please make your tongue flat and then pronounce e, e. Next, e. It looks like a plus e, doesn't it? So please open your mouth wide just as you would to pronounce a and then make the sound e, e. The next vowel is e. It looks like it has a in it, right? So please open your mouth just as you would pronounce a, a bit less wide than a, and then pronounce e, e. At this point, you may wonder if there's any difference between the sounds e and e. You're not the only one a little bit confused by this pair. The main difference is how much you open your mouth, but here's the good news. These days, even many Koreans can't distinguish the difference between the two and don't try to bother. So please don't feel stressed out by it, even if you can't hear the difference while they are being pronounced. Now please make your lips round. It should look like a small circle. Great! To pronounce the next one, you need to let your jaw drop down a little bit. O, O. Then keep your lips round, but this time don't drop your jaw and say oo, oo. Again, repeat after me out loud. Ah, o, o, oo, e, e. Great job! Now let's turn to the page 13 and practice writing in the proper stroke order. A, O, O, U, E, E, and then ah. But wait a minute. Please take a look at something here. There's a circle shape at the left of the vowels we just learned. Why is that? In Korean, a vowel on its own can constitute a syllable, but in that case, you should write the vowel sound with this circle-shaped consonant. It doesn't have any sound value, but it's just used as a placeholder. Then let's continue. O, O, U, E, E. Ah, perfect. As I just mentioned, a vowel on its own can make one syllable. Then does that mean that we can make words with only one vowels? Absolutely. Here are some examples. O, which means 5. E. E can refer to both the number 2 and a person's tooth. Au, younger sibling. Ai, child. Oi, cucumber. There's quite a lot of them. Now let's move on to consonants. As already mentioned, consonants are basically made from the shape of the sound-producing organs. In other words, we can group them according to the positions of those organs and the processes involved in sound production. How? First, there are 2 basic consonants pronounced with both lips. They are m, b. Please listen carefully and repeat after me. M, B. The next four consonants are pronounced by using the front of the tongue and the tooth ridge. D, S, N, L. One more time. D, S, N, R. Here, shiod is a little different from the others in this group. While the tongue touches the palate to pronounce D, N, and L, with S, there needs to be a small empty space between the tip of the tongue and the tooth ridge to let some air passes through it. As for L, you may feel like it has a similar sound to L in English, but to pronounce L correctly, you need to place your tongue a little bit further back. L. The next consonant sound is produced by using the front of the tongue and the hard palate. Z, Z. The fourth group of consonants is pronounced when the back of the tongue touches the soft palate. They are G, Ng. While G is pronounced when the air released and passes between the tongue and the palate, Ng is pronounced as the air passes through the nose. This is called a nasal sound. At this point, you may ask, wait, didn't you say that this circled consonant shape doesn't have a phonetic value and just works as a placeholder? That's correct. You remembered correctly. But when this shape is in the place of a final consonant, it produces the sound and is called a 받침. What's that again? Well, you're going to learn about that in the lesson 3, so for now, you just need to remember that when you use only a vowel to create a syllable, this circled shape is used in the place of the initial consonant as a placeholder, and in that situation, it doesn't have any sound value. You're almost done. Now, there's only one consonant left. This sound is created by narrowing the larynx. H, H. Now let's turn to the page 15 and practice writing the 10 consonants we just studied in the right stroke order. 기역, 니은, 디귿, 비을, 미음, 비읍, 시옷, 이응, 지읒, 히읗. Good job! Now you can create a syllable by combining a consonant and a vowel. How? Please listen carefully and repeat after me. 그, 아, 가, 느, 어, 너, 드, 오, 도, 르, 우, 루, 무, 으, 무, 브, 이, 비, 스, 에, 세, 즈, 에, 제, 흐, 이, 히. The same technique applies to all the other consonants. Now let's practice reading the following words. 그, 오, 고, 그, 이, 기, 고기, 그, 이, 기, 스, 아, 자, 기자, 느, 아, 나, 무, 우, 무, 나무, 아, 느, 에, 네, 아네, 브, 아, 바, 드, 아, 다, 바다, 드, 으, 드, 르, 아, 라, 무, 아, 마, 드라마, 드, 드, 아, 다, 르, 이, 리, 다리, 느, 오, 노, 르, 에, 레, 노래, 무, 아, 마, 스, 이, 시, 드, 아, 다, 마시다, 무, 오, 모, 스, 아, 차, 모자, 프, 아, 바, 스, 이, 지, 바지, 브, 아, 바, 느, 아, 나, 느, 아, 나, 바나나, 스, 에, 새, 우, 새우, 스, 아, 사, 드, 아, 다, 사다, 아, 브, 어, 버, 스, 이, 지, 아버지, 아, 르, 에, 레, 아래, 스, 우, 주, 스, 으, 스, 주스, 스, 에, 제, 스, 우, 주, 드, 오, 도, 제주도, 흐, 아, 하, 르, 우, 루, 하루, 오, 흐, 우, 후, 오후. Well done! 참 잘했어요. Wow, guys, good job today! You learned how Hangul was created along with its basic principles, as well as how to read and write 8 vowels and 10 consonants. You're actually done with the foundational construction of Hangul. In the next lesson, you're going to learn 4 more vowels and 8 more consonants. They are simply combinations of what you already learned today, so don't be scared. Thank you for watching this video right till the end, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you then. Bye!